Welcome to the round 11 edition of the Lions Den. Lockie Ferguson, how are you, mate?
Very well, thanks, mate.
We've got a very big show coming up with a very special guest, so just stay tuned for that. But first on to the results. Lockie, how'd yours go?
Twos had a good win. James Christie was best of field, and the 19s also had a good win. They found themselves in a pretty interesting position at the moment, equal first with 5 other teams. So they're doing pretty well at the moment.
Yeah, it's a real logjam there, so hopefully they can get a win this week and break away from the pack.
That's right.
The thirds didn't have a game this week, and unfortunately the women's team went down to Ivanhoe by a couple of goals. So the word around the club is no Christine Nancaro, no women's team, but hopefully the girls can bounce back next week. On to our game this week. It must be said we had a pretty tough game against St. Bede's here at home, winning by I think about 8 points in the end. Lockie, how'd you see it?
A bit of an interesting game. We got out to 32 points, I think, in coming into the last quarter. So, look, a bit disappointing to finish the way we did, but it was a hard-fought day, and we'll take the points and move on.
Importantly, we did debut a couple of new players, or a couple of players who hadn't played many games for the season. So I think there was about 6 players there, which was, it's really positive that they all made a really good impact, which was great to see. But yeah, plenty of improvement for the boys.
No doubt.
All right, now viewers, have a look at this tape from last week of Ferg's predictions.
Mentioning Freddie Sullivan. So Freddie has had a fantastic
Your
month.
child.
Yeah, Freddie's had a fantastic month of football. 3 weeks in the twos of being in the best, and he came into the ones with a rewarded effort, and he has kicked 2 goals in the first quarter, which was just great to see.
It was huge for us. It got us up and going.
Mate, it was fantastic. So I'm going to say he's going to keep his spot. So let's tick that off. Next step, I reckon he's going to play. He's going to kick 3 goals. He's going to have 18 touches and 6 tackles. So huge call, but I'm backing you, Freddie.
There we go, pal. How's that?
Unbelievable from you, Ferg. Tell us what happened.
Well, look, I took 2 weeks off, reevaluated the science, as we've previously mentioned, and he's come up with the goods. He's kicked 3 goals, 3 the first actually. He's had 18 touches, as previously said, but finished up with 4 tackles, so close enough for my liking. And so for this week's prediction, I'm going to go with his brother, Henry Sullivan.
Your favourite player?
The Bull, to have 25 touches and 8 tackles. So all the best, pal.
As we touched on earlier, we've got a special guest on the show this week. So we've got Julian Chunky Hampton coming on, mate. Come in, brother.
Welcome, pal.
Take a seat.
Thanks for having me.
Julian, are you a fan of the Den? Do you watch it much?
Yeah, usually tune in, yep.
Okay, good to hear, pal. All right, well, I'll start off proceedings with a couple of questions for you, Chunk. Now, a serious one to begin with, mate. As a senior member of the club, which you have been for the last couple of years, obviously you've been here a long time, how do you see sort of the current culture and the playing group? Obviously it's quite a young crowd now. How do you see shaping at the moment? Are you still enjoying being here, and how do you think it's looking for years to come?
Enjoying it sort of more than ever. Obviously getting Joycey on board, and a new coaching group sort of rejuvenated the whole environment.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's really going places. Obviously, shows with the results that we've got on board so far. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Fantastic, mate.
I just want to touch on your individual profile for a second, just so that people who don't know much about you at all. But when did you come to the club?
I came down in 2005.
Okay.
I had a gap year. I didn't play in 2004 after finishing school in 03. So came down in 05, played 1 year of under-19s, which we made a grand final in. We lost that one, and then obviously just continued on, mostly playing in the twos. For the years after that.
Up forward?
Mostly up forward.
Doing your damage up there?
Yeah.
Alright.
Now, mate, in the twos side this year, just tell us about a couple of sort of young players coming through that we could expect maybe pushing into the seniors this year, or in future years. Who do you like the look of at the moment?
Probably Eddie Rice. And also Tyson Wyatt played some really good footy for us this year. They're the 2 that really stand out. They've sort of stepped up and sort of been best 22 or quality players week in, week out for us. Probably exceeded expectations, I would have thought, from Rochi's point of view as well. So yeah, they're the 2 that really stand out.
Okay, we'll make sure we keep an eye on them this year and next.
Absolutely. Now, a bit of a fun question, I guess, and a lot of boys out there would put their hand up and self-proclaim them to be the best, but who's the best person you've ever seen on football trip?
Probably Andrew Stone.
He'll be watching this as well.
Randall.
He'll love that.
Yeah, if you'd asked me who was the most annoying, it would have been him as well. But I think they go hand in hand, those two answers or questions.
He'll love that, I reckon.
Beautiful, and I think you've got one more, mate.
Just to round it up, this season you've lost a couple of tight games in the twos. Where do you see the twos finishing up and the opportunity ahead of you?
I'd hope to say finishing up in the last game of the season. I still think that's possible. We've run every team that we've played really close, so we know our best is capable, so I can't see why we can't sort of make finals and do some damage in the final series.
Beautiful, mate.
Well said.
We hope the twos go all the way this year for sure, mate. It's been a pleasure having you on, mate.
Boys,
Thanks, pal.
good luck.
Too easy.